Hi, this is Kristen, and welcome to Dallas and my very first podcast. We had a lot of fun putting this together. It's honestly just one of our normal conversations, and we just thought we'd open it up if anybody wanted to listen along. It being our first one, we obviously are working out some kinks and figuring things out, but we really did have a good time putting it together and hope you enjoy.
Hi, this is Dallas.
And this is Kristen.
And we like to talk.
A lot.
So we thought it would be fun to record some of our conversations, and maybe you would like to listen to them.
That's right. We are two girls with many opinions, and we essentially have decided that we kind of have very similar lives. Dallas and I are about 12 years apart. You are how old, Dallas?
I'm 26.
She's 26 and I'm 38. But we've...
She said it.
The audience gasps. But we've had very similar experiences in life. But as we've gotten older and kind of gotten into adulthood, things have branched off a little bit. But we love to get together, and we love to chat, and we like to talk about the things we have in common and the things we don't have in common. And so this will just be a fun way. We're going to invite everybody into those conversations.
And 3 people just clicked it off right there. But we're going to keep going anyway.
Yes.
So like Kristen said, we have pretty similar lives, just lived about 12 years apart. So starting from childhood, we both went to the same elementary
Christian
school.
Yeah.
And all the way through high school. I mean, you were there.
I was there through high school, most of it, yeah.
Okay.
A few years I went to a different school, but for the most
In
part,
the end,
Keswick has my heart. Yeah.
Yes, we both bleed plaid.
Yes.
From those uniforms.
That's right.
That they don't even have to wear anymore.
That's right.
Things
Not that
change.
we're bitter about it.
Not at all. So we were at that same school. We did overlap a little bit, but as you can tell by the age gap, we weren't really friends then. And then we were always at the same church. Kristen, what church was that?
So, I grew up, and Dallas grew up, at a church called Starkey Road Baptist Church, and my dad is the pastor there, so that church is also very, very close to my heart. It almost feels like a sibling, that's what I say. Like, I feel like Starkey Road is like my sister, you know, because it's just so dear.
Because 2 sisters weren't enough, so you got a third one.
Exactly. So I love the church, and but I kind of went there all throughout my life. God has called my husband and my daughter and I now to another church here in town. We go to Calvary Chapel, but we also are still involved at Starkey in a lot of the things they have going on.
Yes.
So
and I get to see her daughter on Wednesday nights, where I am serving with the children's ministry.
At Awana.
So we just keep overlapping.
Yes.
And we'll probably never get away from it.
That's right. That's right.
So my dad has been at that church almost as long as your dad has, because he was in his youth group.
Right.
So we're going so many levels back here.
That's right.
And so I was born into that church as well, and have been there my whole life. And we both went away to college after graduating from Keswick. So again, about 12 years apart, but we both graduated from Liberty University. So that is the only gap in my Starkey Road Baptist attendance.
That's right. Until now, there's going to be a little bit of a gap because some things are changing in your life here coming up very soon. Yeah, branching off. I met my husband at Liberty, and we always laugh and think, how many people has Jerry Falwell brought together in 2 marriages? Seriously. So we met there and got married. Then we lived in Lynchburg for 2 years after college, and my husband finished up his degree, and I worked at Liberty, actually, for a little bit. And then we moved back to Florida, which is where Dallas and I both are originally from. And
Florida girls through and through.
Yeah. So then you graduated from Liberty.
So I graduated from Liberty. I applied for a few jobs in Virginia that did not work out, so I came back home, and I do love Florida, so no complaints there. But I've been working.
What's the main thing you love about Florida?
I love the color orange. That's not where you expected that to go.
That's not where I expected that to go.
That is my favorite. I'm gonna explain it. It is my favorite color, but I think I have so many fond memories of. We have literal oranges here, and going to Orange Blossom and getting a twisty creamsicle after school.
Yeah.
And so there's an orange there. I love the glow at sunset that is all over since we live right on the water. Just that beautiful twilight that has kind of an orange-purple tint to it. I have good memories of driving across the bridge coming home from Liberty after driving 14 hours from Lynchburg to St. Pete. There's that great moment when you get over the Howard Franklin and you can roll the windows down and smell that salty air, which sometimes was a little nauseating. But after being in the car for a solid 13 and a half hours, it was great. Get away from those mountains that just block the sunset.
Yeah.
So I like the scenery of it. It's low key. But at a certain point, which is the point that I am at now,
Yes.
I run out of options.
Yes.
So after working a few different jobs here that didn't go too far in any of them, and a lot of my friends that I made at Liberty that were good, solid friendships, all living other places, and my friends here were all getting married.
Right.
I am left a little lost and lonely here. So why stay here and be sad when I could just go follow the peace, as we have a mutual friend that says that, and go up and be with them. So I will be moving to Charlotte soon, and that is one of the reasons we decided to start recording some of our conversation nights in the snow.
Right.
We can listen and look back fondly.
Yes. I will be very interested to hear what color you think North Carolina is someday.
True.
I've never really thought of states having colors, so I like that. But maybe North Carolina will have a color for you, and maybe it'll be a good color.
Right now
Let's
it's
hope it
white,
will. Right?
because it started snowing the second I got up there to visit.
Yeah. All right. So that gives you a little background on who we are and where we're going. My life right now is not as exciting as Dallas's.
It's so calm.
But it's so good, just the same. I've been married to my husband now for 15 years. We are so happy. He is just truly the light of my life. I just love him to death. He's a wonderful husband, and we have lots of fun together. And then we also have a 9-year-old daughter. And her name is Sarah Rose, and she's just a delight. She's just funny, and
I can verify that.
Yes.
She is funky, and I love it.
Yes, she's just the sweetest little thing. So I'm doing great. I mean, I love where I'm at in life right now. Living my day to day, nothing too much going on except, recording a podcast this morning.
Yes, and that's what makes life fun.
Yes.
We have been holding back on talking about some of the things we wanted to talk about so that we could get it on record, yeah.
Literally
on the record.
Yes, exactly.
So our New Year's paths are going to take us very different ways. And mine is taking me to another state. And it's a topic that has come up with us a few times of what is it like after growing up in the same church, going to school that you had a sister that was going with you there, and coming back. What is it like when you're finally trying to branch off from your parents to do it respectfully? But at a certain point, you have to put your foot down a little bit.
Yep.
So one of those decisions for you was you got to, once you're married, that makes it pretty clear, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and that is helpful, I think, in my situation. My husband has just some very strong opinions on different things in his life and where our family needs to go. So, for me in particular, moving back to Florida, knowing that my dad has a church here in town that I love and my husband loves, and, just figuring out if that's the right fit for our family. And after a lot of prayer and just thinking it over, always my parents have been so amazingly gracious. People actually ask me, like in the grocery store, when they find out that I don't go.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
That I don't go to my dad's church. It's a little scandalous. And, I always say my parents have been nothing but supportive of me, honestly, my whole life. They just have allowed me to be who I am, be an individual. It's like, whatever, do what you feel like you need to do. So I never felt the pressure of, you really have to attend this church or we're going to be disappointed in you. And when I did have a conversation with my dad about it one time, I just wanted to make sure we were okay. And I remember I was so nervous. My heart was beating. I called him and I said, Dad, I just want to make sure that we're okay, that I don't go to Starkey Road and, that my family's chosen something different. And I remember my dad was like, Kristen, it's so okay. And here's why for me that it's okay. I want you to follow the Lord. I want you to love God and to serve him. And wherever that is, I don't care. The thing that makes me the most proud is that you love the Lord. And so he's like, that's it. And it was such a good kind of conversation for me. My dad may not even remember that, but it was a good conversation for me to have and be able to just know that. And so we do. We have great peace where we are.
And it's a healthy perspective, too, that you don't have to go to a certain church. We are all believers together.
Yeah.
As long as you're at a church that's preaching the gospel and you are following the Lord there.
Right.
What does it matter? The building that you meet in, we're still all the body of Christ together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so I'm looking at graduating from college without getting married. So still balancing the view of, am I under my parents' wing until I'm married? How conservative do we want to be here? And my parents also, very healthy perspective on it and wanting me to make my own decisions and no pressure to decide one thing or another. But
how blessed are we that we have that? Oh my word. Like I almost feel bad to say that sometimes because so many people don't have that.
They don't. We are a little spoiled in that. Yes. Sorry guys listening, but we're super spoiled. So this can be a fairy tale that you listen to fall asleep at night. If only it was actually a fairy tale. Right. It's not. We still have struggles.
Oh my goodness. We'll get into those maybe in the next few weeks if we keep recording these.
Absolutely. Yes. So my parents still, I don't want to call it a conservative viewpoint, but enough to say we are responsible for you biblically. Until you have a husband that you can lean on, we want to make sure that you're taken care of. And so they do offer opinions and advice, but it's because to them, they want to make sure that I'm taken care of as well as I can. And so I got to a point of being here and going through a relationship that didn't work out. And really the best option, the way that I could keep serving the Lord and not grow spiteful, not get bitter towards people, was let's move on and get a fresh perspective, start over, and not keep trying to go through the same stresses that I'd always been through, but let's get rid of those and have new ones. I don't expect that moving is going to solve all my problems by any means, but I am single. I don't have a family that I have to take care of, so when else in my life am I going to get to move to a city just because I think it's fun? And there's good opportunities there. It's not that I didn't point to a map and go, this one. I've got friends there.
Yes, yeah.
Good churches.
And I will say, as your friend, and I've told you this personally before, but truly, there are certain times that people have told me things like they're moving away or, they're going into a relationship or something like that. And as a friend, sometimes you have a gut reaction. And I would say my gut reaction to you telling me was, yes, this is good. It's time. And I am going to miss you so much because I joke that all of my friends move away.
Yes. Yes. See, life is still stressful. Even when it's dreamy.
Yes. So a lot of my friends have moved away even in the last few years. And that is hard. It really is. And I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss having you around. But I just feel like I feel like it's the right thing and it's the right opportunity. And I'm so excited for what God's going to do. I feel like it's just in my gut. I can't say how or when or why, but I feel like there are so many good things for you, whether that's a guy, I don't know, whether that's a really great job. But I just feel like, yep, this is it. There was no hesitation in my mind when you mentioned that is the direction you were going to be taking, that was what you needed to do.
And I've yet to have somebody say, no, please don't go.
Yeah.
So I'm almost concerned at a certain point. Does no one want me to stay?
Yeah.
But it's all from that similar perspective of people around you can just see. And I think when you're walking with the Lord and you're, like we said, in a good church that is supporting you, then you can get that feeling from people who are also walking with the Lord. They can be your gauge sometimes of, is this the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? So everybody saying to me, That's great. That's going to be awesome for you. I'm so happy for you. That's a good gauge that I know this is the right decision, and I think the Lord uses people to confirm that. When I am sitting in my bed at night thinking, how am I going to pack all this up, and I don't have a job yet, what am I going to do? I can fall back on God has used people to say this is the right thing to do, because he also can use them to say this is wrong. And I've been that to people. I'm sure people have done that to me. Towards the end of that relationship, I know a few people felt that way. And that's, you just have to trust that when you're serving the Lord, you can trust the other people that he's using as well to do that for you. So
that's good. So I'm excited for you, and I think it's gonna be interesting, even as we continue having these talks, maybe, and recording them, to just see how things progress for you. I think it'll be exciting, and it'll be a fun little component to this.
Stay tuned for the fairy tale, guys. We are going to try to take turns each week. So this week, my focus, I have the more exciting thing that's happening immediately. I am going from here to pack. So we'll take turns and share what the Lord is doing in our lives. And this week, he is helping me learn how to move on. And it is not easy. Our lives have not been difficult by the perspective of the world, but the stresses are different. I hate when people try to say, oh, your life is easy, you don't understand. Well, compared to yours, maybe, but for in my own life, I still have turmoil. And Kristen, you have things that are absolute turmoil for you too. And so next week, we're going to focus on some of those and talk about some of the things that you're going through too. So a lot of people I've seen on Facebook are using, for the new year, we don't want to say New Year's resolutions, because those, you just know you're going to throw them out the window right away. Gym memberships, I'm sure, are already declining as we get into late January. But I've seen a lot of my Christian friends want to use their word for the year. And we do not agree on this, Kristen, do we?
Okay, so this is the funny thing with Dallas and me. We have a lot in common, as you know, just from our past, we have a lot in common. But then also just personality-wise, we have a lot in common.
We really do.
Yeah, we are, maybe people would consider us old souls a little bit. We love the musical genre.
Yes, we do.
And old movies? Do you like old movies?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Casablanca.
Okay. So
tea parties.
Yes. We're, I'm best friends with Kate Middleton.
And just a degree away.
And so, we've got a lot of things in common. But then occasionally, and I always will think, oh, Dallas is going to love this. And so there's something I'll text her, like, you have to check out such and such. And I would say probably most of the time I'm right. However, there are a few times that I've been so wrong. And it blows my mind that Dallas can't like this certain thing. So this is one of them, I would say, this word of the year.
I think, so some things that are different. Kristen is more of a writer and I am more of a talker. So that divides us. There is a little bit of a generation gap. I grew up always having a computer in my house, got my Facebook when I turned 16. Facebook is more of an adult stage for you.
I mean, I remember, so for me, I remember in college, a friend of mine talking about email. This is my freshman year of college, and I remember her saying, there's a computer lab here at the college, and you can email your parents, and it gets to them like within seconds, and then they can respond, and I'll get it later that night. And I remember thinking, well, I mean, why would you need to do that? Like, just call them, write them a letter. And then I later, I remember going into the computer lab with the big hefty computers, and there were like 10 of them, like 10 computers for the whole college. So, so that's how far back I go. And so social media, I mean, I did not grow up with the social media thing or any of that being a part of my childhood or my teen years in particular, and in college. And so, I remember getting on Facebook in Facebook's early days. It was kind of when you still had to have a college
you had to have a college email
to be on it. And so, that's when I got on Facebook, and it has now become, social media has become what it has become.
That is the media now.
Yes.
I think a lot of the gap, too, comes from, since I've always had it, it's not a shiny new thing for me, and I don't know any other way of disseminating information.
Yeah.
But for you, it's still, I don't want to say it's newer. We've had it the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But you actually did write letters, and email
adult.
was you. And so this is a relief that, I can just share this right away. And I don't have to keep pictures in my wallet. Not that you would do that. You're not that old.
No, I used to do that in college and high school. Yeah, absolutely.
And so for me, it's lost a little of its luster. And so something comes up where, let's share our word for the year. I love talking about things like that. Posting it and sharing it with the group. Yeah. It can be intimidating for me. Yes. Because I am used to people being so vulnerable that I have to choose what I'm going to keep guarded. It is not inspiring to me.
Okay. So, I love that. I love this word of the year that people are sharing and kind of kicking around on social media that everyone's coming up with for the new year. And I've actually thought of mine this year, and I'm praying over it. And,
I'm not making fun. I feel bad laughing.
No, but that one was a funny one for me when I realized that you do not, it's not your thing.
It might be an insecurity that it makes me uncomfortable, to be so introspective, because I like talking. I was a speech major.
Right.
I just pretty much vomit out whatever I feel. And so to have to really look inside myself and just pick one thing to focus on. Yeah. Ooh, no thank you.
No. Yeah. Okay.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
You are going to do it?
See,
do
then
you want
I have
share?
To make... I don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
Then it gets to be a point of, if this is something that my friends think is valuable, then I can do that for you. Yeah. I will share this with you so that we're being equally vulnerable.
Right.
Sharing with each other, shared experience. I'll do it for the relationship.
Yeah.
This one's for you guys. But now I have to think of something.
Good sport. Oh gosh. Yeah. I love it. I love hearing what other people are choosing and doing, and it's just great to me. So
yay.
Yeah. So
maybe because you have a husband and a child too, that is. Do you think that influences
I don't know. I think I'm just touchy-feely like that. I just am like,
in your nature.
Sure. So maybe next time we can share our words if you come up with one. Who
That's
knows?
what we can do.
Yeah,
I'll come up with the word and share it. And then not only share it with Anglo.
Yes.
Why does that word seem wrong?